IELTS reading tips. Hello everybody. Today, I'm going to share with you some IELTS reading tips that are very useful for you. To begin with, let me tell you that the reading test comprises of 40 questions that would last for 60 minutes. Please remember this. No additional time is given to transfer your answers at the end of 60 minutes. In other words, you have to write down all your final answers directly on the reading test answer sheet. The content of the test depends on the two kinds of modules you choose to take. The first module is called the academic. It has 3 reading texts. These are texts which were taken from the magazines, journals, books, and newspapers written for a general or non-specialist audience. These texts may include diagrams, graphs, and illustrations. The second kind of module is the general training. It has 3 sections of progressively more difficult content. 2 or 3 short texts could be about public notices, advertisements, and timetables. It could also be about job descriptions, contracts and staff development, and training materials. One long text or passage might come from newspapers, magazines, and fiction and non-fiction book extracts. Now let's talk about the main task types. You will be seeing sentence completion, various kinds of matching, labeling flowcharts, or other kinds of diagram. There's also identifying the writer's claims or views and identifying information. I'll be showing you samples of these. Here is the sample of the sentence completion. This completion task is linked to a text in the test about emergency procedures on a school campus. Please read the instructions carefully. In this example, it says, choose no more than 3 words from the text for each answer. Then you have to follow that. It would be a good idea to read the sentences first and then try your best to figure out what words are missing. Your hint might be based on whether the answer is an adjective, noun, verb, or an adverb. In short, it is best also to be knowledgeable about the different word forms. Now let's talk about the various kinds of matching. This matching task is linked to a text in the test which gives a list of beneficial work practices for keyboard operators. Again, it is very important to read and understand the instructions. This sample looks very complicated, but when you practice a lot and you already learned the pattern, it would be easier for you to locate the answers. The next one is the labeling, flowcharts, or other kinds of diagram. This labeling task is linked to a text in the test about how animals use electric signals to detect location. Now, you have to label the diagram. And again, the instruction says, choose no more than 2 words from the passage for each answer. The next one is identifying the writer's claims or views. This task is linked to a text in the test describing different kinds of short business courses. In this example, you are going to identify if the statement is true, false, or not given. Write true if the statement agrees with the information. Write false if the statement contradicts the information. And write not given if there is no information stated about the topic. The last one is identifying information. This task is linked to a text in the test describing different kinds of calisthenic physical training activities. Calisthenics are gymnastic exercises to achieve bodily fitness and grace of movement. In this example, the text has 8 paragraphs labeled A to H. And you are going to locate which paragraph contains the following information. So you have to write the correct letter from A to H in boxes, for example, 29 to 35 on your answer sheet. This part is so mind-boggling, so you really have to pay much attention. And try to pick some keywords that would lead you to the best answer. At this point, I'm going to give you some tips to remember. Like in the listening test, reading questions are given in groups. You will see the questions before or after the passage they belong to. The next one is manage your time. For example, there are 4 passages. Give 15 minutes for each passage. And try to use this technique. Use 13 minutes to answer and 2 minutes to write in the answer sheet. If you didn't finish a passage on time, move on to the next one. Go back later. Just mark the number with this symbol. To easily locate which numbers don't have answers yet. Make sure that you didn't forget to answer any question. You have to double check. Another tip is don't read everything. Just scan. This is the biggest mistake. To start the test by reading the whole passage. Scan quickly through the text. Don't try to understand every word. Just go over it and get the idea of what each paragraph is about. Another useful tip is to make a map. Get the main idea. Underline the words in the paragraph that explains the main idea. Before taking the test, it's really important to learn the rules. Know the style of the test. Be familiar with the word limit. One question needs only one answer. Another tip to follow is that don't assume that you know the answer. Search for it in the passage. You have to stick to the facts as they are written in the paragraph. Forget all about your personal knowledge and experience. Gather some samples of reading practice tests so that you will be more familiar with it. Finish the reading practice test and then check your answers according to the answer key. Pay attention to those numbers you've got wrong, not those you've got right. By doing this, you will be guided on what to avoid. Then practice copying your answers to the answer sheet so that you will know how it feels like writing on those given spaces. And if you have ample time to prepare and review, I would recommend you to practice both the academic and the general training module tests. And before I end this video, I'd like to show you the sample of the reading test answer sheet. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time!